Canto 9, the chapter named Liberation. Canto named Liberation, chapter 10, verse 2. Please repeat. Tasyapi Bhagavanesa
Tasyapi Bhagavanapi
Sakshat Brahma Mayo Hari
Sakshat Brahma Mayo Hari
Amsamsena Chaturdagat
Asamsena Chaturvagat
Putratvam Pratihāsuraya
Putratam Pradita Suraya
Rama Lakshmana Bharata Satrughna
Rama Lakshmana Bharata Satrugna
Iti Samjnaya.
Iti Samkhya.
Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Being prayed for by the demigods, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth Himself, directly appeared with His expansion and expansions of the expansion. Their holy names were Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Satrugna. These celebrated incarnations thus appeared in 4 forms as the sons of Maharaj Dasharath. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Ramchandra and his brothers Lakshmana, Bharata, Satrugna are all Vishnu Tattva, not Jiva Tattva. The Supreme Personality of Godhead expands into many, many forms. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. Although they are one and the same, Vishnu Tattva has many forms and incarnations. As confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.39, Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtam. The Lord is situated in many forms such as Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Satrugna, and these forms may exist in any part of His creation. All these forms exist permanently, eternally as individual personalities of Godhead, and they resemble many candles, all equally powerful. Lord Ramchandra, Lakshmana, Bharata and Satrugna, who being Vishnu Tattva are all equally powerful, became the sons of Maharaj Dasharath in response to the prayers by the demigods. Hare Krishna devotees, privileged and honored to be here this Saturday morning, in spite of the cold weather outside. We are here in the presence of Sri Srila Radhanatabar, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra and Kavamita and Srila Prabhupada, and in the presence of all the devotees who have assembled here this morning. Thanks, my special thanks to Hare Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to share some of the scriptures, literature. Thank you so much. And so today we read from Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 9, chapter 10 and text 2 about the 4 sons of Dasharath, Lord Ram, Lakshman, Bharata and Satrugna. So I thought I'll share some insights into Mother Sita and Lord Ram getting married. So before we start off the discussions, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, Guru, and the inspiration for today's lecture, His Grace Shubhavilash Prabhu, so who has written the book Ramayana, the Game of Life. So I think he's writing 6 books. So the goal of this book is to narrate Ramayana as it is from Valmiki Ramayana, and also bring in the hidden evidences of hidden things that we can learn and implement it in our life as in those books. So I was very inspired by hearing his lectures and also reading of the book. And if anybody wants the book, I think Prabhu should have it. I only saw part 3. I don't think part 4, 5 and 6 have come out yet. But I may be wrong, but I do have the 3 books that I got previously from Prabhu. So now we all know Valmiki ji is the author of Ramayana. So Ramayana was composed of 24,000 verses, and it glorifies Lord Ram and Mother Sita. So, but before we go deep into the marriage of Mother Sita and Lord Ram, it's very important to understand and glorify the author Valmiki. There are some verses that glorify, celebrates and appreciates Valmiki, who is the author of Ramayana. So I thought we'll read those 2 verses, the 2 important verses, and you all can repeat as well, so that we also glorify Valmiki. Kujantam Rama Rameti Maduram
Rama Rameti Maduram
Maduraksharam Arudhya Kavita Shakam
Arudhya Kavita Shakam
Vande Valmiki Kokilam
Vande Valmiki Kokilam
Valmiki Munisimhasya
Valmiki Munisimhasya
Kavitavana Charina
Kavitavanacharina
Srunvan Rama Kadanadam
Srunvan Rama Kadanadam
Konayati Param Gatim.
Konayantim Param Gati.
So the translation goes like this. So the first part of the verse: salutations to the nightingale Valmiki, who sits on the poem like branch, and who goes on singing sweetly, Rama, Rama and Rama. And the meaning of the second part of the verse: who in this world will not attain salvation, who happened to hear the story of Rama composed by the lion among poets, Valmiki, who always lived in the forest. So if you look at deeply these 2 verses, the first verse is glorifying Valmiki, and it's compared as the nightingale, as the cuckoo bird, right? So he sings the name of Rama and glorifies Rama in a very sweet, melodious voice and chosen lyrics, which are very poetic, and he's compared to a kokila bird in the first verse. Now in the second verse, Valmiki is compared as the lion among sages. So there is a thought for us to think about these 2 verses. So in the first verse, he is compared to a nightingale, a kokila bird. In the second verse, he is compared to a lion among sages. Right? So, I mean, when you look at kokila bird and lion, it's completely contradictory with respect to the personalities. Right? Kokila bird sings very sweetly, whereas the lion roars very loudly. Right? So with those 2 verses, what we can take out of this is there are 2 aspects of Ramayana. One is the sweetness, the narration of the story, all the personalities in Ramayana, very sweet personalities, and everything is sweet. That is the first aspect of And then there is also a roaring message for all of us, apart from the sweetness. Right? So, and what is that roaring message? Is what the author, His Grace Shubhavela has identified that, and he wrote it in the form of a book series, Ramayana's Game of Life. Okay. So in India, you might have heard about Triveni Sangam, right? Anybody heard about that? So it's somewhere near Allahabad and Prayag. So there are 3 rivers that form the Triveni, right? So it's Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. So Ganga and Yamuna are clearly visible. You can see those 2 rivers. But Saraswati is not visible. Right? It's also called Gupta Nadi, which is hidden river. Right? So Saraswati means knowledge, means wisdom, meaning to see the guidance of the acharyas and spiritual masters. Right? So his Ramayana is connected with our life, and there are a lot of life lessons that we can apply in our life. So that's the preliminary introduction, glorifying Valmiki and starting off the pastimes of the marriage of Mother Sita and Lord Ram. So there is a deeper meaning that we all can understand by discussing these pastimes. So now, since we are talking about the marriage of Lord Ram and Sita, so we have to go to the kingdom of Janaka, which is a city called Maithila. So Maithila, I believe it's in the southern part of Nepal, and King Janaka was the ruler of the kingdom, and that's the city where Mother Sita lived. So the context here is to bring in, to connect everything. Vishwamitra Muni, he goes to Maharaj Dashrath, who is the father of Lord Ram, and he says he wants Ram, Lakshman, to be sent with Vishwamitra Muni to the forest. Because every time Vishwamitra Muni does the yajna, there are these demons in the forest who come and spoil the yajna. So he wants Lord Ram and Lakshman to come with him to the forest. And even though Lord Ram is the beloved son of Maharaj Dashrath, but Maharaj Dashrath agreed to send Lord Ram finally with Vishwamitra Muni. And as Lord Ram and Lakshman, accompanied by Vishwamitra Muni, they come to the forest, they come to the pilgrimage where Vishwamitra Muni was living. And then they help Vishwamitra Muni's yajna by killing some of the demons, Subahu, Maricha and other demons, so that the yajna becomes successful. Now, the mission of why Vishwamitra Muni got Lord Ram and Lord Lakshman to the forest is accomplished because his yajna is successful. So now, the way how we understand this, so Vishwamitra Muni has 2 options. One, either he can take Lord Ram to the kingdom of Ayodhya and send him to his kingdom, to his father, Maharaj Dashrath. Or there is also something else that he can do different. Right? So Vishwamitra Muni decided to do different. Okay. But he does not want to do it for himself, or he does not want to do it himself. So he wanted to do it like as Ram wants it to be done. Okay. So that is what we take away from here. So Vishwamitra Muni wanted to do something different as if Ram wants it to be done. So one day morning, Vishwamitra Muni told Ram that he is going to Maithila to visit Maharaj Janak, and he has arranged for a bow sacrifice of Lord Shiva. Bow sacrifice, and the bow is from Lord Shiva. So if you want to see, you can come with me. And Lord Ram, he was so excited as soon as he heard the name Lord Shiva. Right? So he said, yes, we want to accompany with you to the kingdom of Maithila. So now Vishwamitra Muni, Lord Ram and Lakshman entering into the kingdom of Maithila. So Maithila is the most amazing, splendorous kingdom at that times, because Mother Sita, who is the effulgence of the effulgence, lived in that city. So every house had a flag on the top, and the flag was waving with winds. So Kambamuni, who is the author, who narrated Valmiki Ramayana, I believe in Tamil. So he says, when these flags are moving all over in every house, it was described as the welcoming Ram into the kingdom of Maithila. And the reason why there was such a warm welcome is because the city was holding this jewel, Mother Sita, and it was ready to hand over this jewel to someone who is qualified. And obviously it's Lord Ram. Okay. So the three, Vishwamitra Muni, Lord Ram and Lakshman, they were walking into the city of Maithila, and they reached a place where Mother Sita was residing in the palace. So suddenly something happened. So Lord Ram, looks up at the balcony and of the palace of Mother Sita. And exactly at the same time, Mother Sita appeared in the balcony. Then there was eye contact between Lord Ram and Mother Sita. So Sita's beauty is very so mesmerizing. People could not, take out their eyes by looking at Mother Sita. So the citizens think that they prayed when looking at Mother Sita. Why their eyes are blinking? Because they want to have their eyes not blink, so that they can see the effulgence and the mesmerizing beauty of Mother Sita. And then the demigods, whose eyes don't blink, and they were thinking, why do we only have two eyes? We should have millions of eyes to see the beauty of Sita. Right? That's how it is described. So the moment there was a contact from Lord Ram and Mother Sita. So it looked like they lost their hearts in their first moment itself. So generally, when Lord Ram, when he sees something he doesn't understand, he wants to inquire. And the first person he approaches is his Guru, Vishwamitra. But this was the first time that when Lord Ram was able to see Sita's palace and Sita appearing on the balcony of the palace. This was the first time Lord Ram did not ask any question to Vishwamitra. So something within Lord Ram said that he had some strong connection with Sita. So then they reached the city center where Maharaj Janak palace was, and Maharaj Janak came out from his palace to greet Vishwamitra Muni and Lord Ram and Lakshman. So Maharaj Janak paid his respects to him and told Vishwamitra Muni to stay with him for 12 days to witness the bow sacrifice that he has arranged, so that whoever lifts the bow, that person can be married to Mother Sita. So along with Maharaj Janak, Satananda Rishi also accompanied him. So they both came out to greet Vishwamitra Muni and Lord Ram and Lakshman. So, but Maharaj Janak, he did not know Lord Ram and Lakshman. So then Vishwamitra Muni introduced Lord Ram and Lakshman as the sons of Maharaj Dasharath, who was ruling the kingdom of Ayodhya. So Maharaj Janak was very happy to see directly the sons of Maharaj Dasharath, because a while ago when Maharaj Dasharath was performing this yajna, and then he could see the payasam coming out, and then the payasam getting distributed to the three queens, and then
Wait,
all
Paisam or poison?
payasam,
Paisam, okay.
the sweet.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's sweet.
So that was distributed to the queens, and then the 4 sons were born. So he witnessed the scene where the yajna was performed and payasam was distributed to the queens. And after that, all he heard was, Maharaj Dasharath had 4 sons, Lord Ram, Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrugna. So now he's personally seeing 2 of the sons. So he was very happy in his heart, Maharaj Janak. And then after that introduction, Vishwamitra Muni also said, and also glorified Lord Ram. Then he said, he's the one who killed Tataka, the demons. And he also killed another demon, Subahu and Madija, in the forest. And then his yajna sacrifice was successful.
I think he might have said it was.
Was that one?
Subahu.
Subahu?
I think he might have said it.
Maritya is later, right?
So, and after saying this, Satananda Rishi, who was also accompanied by Maharaj Janak, he had a different reaction to this glorification. When Vishwamitra Muni was talking about Lord Ram and the killing of the demons and the sacrifice successful and all that. So, and Vishwamitra Muni can sense that by looking at Satananda Rishi. So Satananda Rishi was more like, okay, so yeah, they are sons of Dasharath. Okay, fine. And they are, Lord Ram killed, the demons. Okay, so what? So now, Vishwamitra Muni, so now he said, after that glorification, then he said, but Lord Ram also delivered Ahilya. So Satananda Rishi he came into consciousness and he was asking, Lord Ram delivered Ahilya? So it's a big question in his mind. So, so Ahilya was a stone for many decades. And when Lord Ram's feet touched Ahilya, then she was delivered immediately. So Ahilya is the wife of Gautam Rishi. And Satananda Rishi is the son of Ahilya and Gautam Rishi. So Satananda Rishi has not seen his mother. He has seen his mother in the form of stone, and he used to do pujas and prayers to the stone. So, so the thing that we need to understand from here is the heroic acts may attract common persons, right? But acts of compassion and kindness will attract great souls. That is what we need to learn from this incident. Right? So when Satananda Rishi has found out that Lord Ram has delivered Ahilya, he bursted out with compassion and kindness. And he is a great soul. He had so much of powers, but he could not do it. He and Gautam Rishi could not deliver Ahilya. But Lord Ram has to come to deliver Ahilya. So that's the learning we have to emphasize here. And also leadership is about two things. So the greatness of a leader is not just powerful and wonderful, but he should also be compassionate and sweet. So those are the two things we need to see from a leader. A leader has authority. A leadership is he should demonstrate his wonderful qualities, but he should also demonstrate compassionate sweetness. That is the real quality of a leader. So obviously the power attracts common man, right? Whereas great people are attracted by compassion. So in Bhagavad Gita also, many verses, discussion of Krishna and Arjuna, it says what compassion means. So compassion means decrease passion and increase krupa. That is what compassion means. So we all have to practice compassion, empathy, by admiring the great personalities who have demonstrated and exhibited compassion and kindness in many forms. So there are two words in Sanskrit. So one is Veda and the other word is Vedana. So Veda, we all know, it's scriptures. And Vedana means suffering. So if you have to demonstrate and be compassionate to others, we need to understand the suffering of others and empathize with others' suffering. That is the true and real compassion. And so just wanted to tell a story which was also said by Sobelas Prabhu. In his lectures. So there was a girl who was going to school, and she had she every day she was coming back to his mother, to her mother, and saying that she wants to have her head shaved. And her mother was confused. He was saying, no, I mean, you're a girl, you have to have long hair. And then, so one fine day, she was so determined, the girl was so determined, that she wanted her mother to shave the head right away. So the mother fulfilled the desire of her daughter. So then the mother was so worried, like, why this thing is happening suddenly. What is happening in school? Because she knows what is happening at home. So then she went to school and she asked her teacher, my daughter has insisted many days that she wants her head to be shaved. And then she wanted to understand the reason by talking to the teacher. And then when she went into the classroom, she saw that her daughter was sitting next to a boy who was also, his head was shaved. So then the mother asked the teacher, what is actually going on? So the teacher said, your daughter is the best girl I have ever seen. She is so compassionate to others. And she said, the boy who's sitting next to her is suffering from cancer. And he's going through, chemotherapy. And then his head has to be shaved. So because there was no one to accompany and take his pain and suffering, your daughter has insisted you to shave her head, and then she's giving accompanying to the boy who is suffering with cancer. So most of the times we get to exhibit greatness, right? Many times in a day. But very rarely we get to exhibit compassion also, along with greatness. And that is one thing we need to learn from the pastimes of Rama. And there is also a saying, great people seldom talk about themselves. Right? So you can connect this story with how compassion has to enter into our hearts. So you are inviting compassion. So going back to the kingdom of Maithila. So Lord Ram was invited to the court, and Vishwamitra Muni tells Maharaj Janak, can you show the Lord, can you show the Lord Shiva's bow to Ram? And then tell the glories of the bow. Now, long ago, Vishwakarma, who is the creator of all the manifested buildings in every planets. So Vishwakarma created two bows. He gave one to Lord Shiva, and he gave the other one to Lord Vishnu. And Shiva has used these bows to kill some of the demons. I think he killed Tripurasura demon as well. Okay. So looking at this, so they both had two bows that were created and made by Vishwakarma. So the demigods, they had high curiosity. And they went to Brahma one day and asked him. So they wanted to see the fight of Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. And they want to see who is stronger, whether Vishnu is stronger or Shiva is stronger. So Brahma said, no, it's going to create a big disaster. You don't want to see the fight between Lord Shiva and Vishnu. So but then the demigods convinced Brahma, and then Brahma convinced Lord Shiva and Vishnu. And they both started to fight. And at some point, Lord Vishnu, he let out a big war cry, and it was very sacred, and it was a very big, huge, loud cry that came out. And then the demigods and everybody were really shocked. They were frightened. What's going to happen? And then they said, like, they went to Lord Brahma and said, please stop the fight. And then Brahma was able to stop the fight, and he talked to Lord Shiva and Vishnu, and they both agreed happily to stop the fight. So the point here is too much of curiosity to intervene in matters when one neither has any authority or control over it. So it guarantees personal embarrassment and public disturbance. So when we don't have control on anything and we intervene into matters where we don't have control and want to show curiosity, what it gives public disturbance. And that's exactly what happened when Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu were fighting, and it created a big disturbance with the war cry that Vishnu has let out. Right. So the curiosity should be used in a rightly way. When it is used in rightly way, it's called inquisitiveness. Okay. Now there's another story we all might know about Adam and Eve. So Adam and Eve, so they were asked not to eat the apple. Right? God told them not to eat the apple. But then in between, what came? A snake came and said, Adam and Eve, please eat the apple. He said, no. The Lord said not to eat the apple. Said the snake said, yeah, because the Lord said not to eat the apple, because if you eat the apple, you will become God. That's why he said not to eat the apple. So there was curiosity injected between Adam and Eve. And then what did they do? They ate the apple. And then we all know the other story. Okay. So Lord Shiva, he used these bows to kill many demons, and then he also used the bow in Daksha Yajna. And then the bow was given to the demigods, and then from demigods it came to King Devavrata, who is the sixth descendant of Maharaj Nimi, and finally it came to Maharaj Janak. And that's the story how the bow came to Maharaj Janak. So Lord Ram knew about this. Then Maharaj Janak ordered the soldiers to go and bring the bow to the assembly. And then the moment Maharaj Janak ordered the soldiers, and then 5,000 soldiers got up. So Lord Ram was bewildered. To get a bow, 5,000 soldiers? So then they all went, and then they brought the bow back. And bringing, there were 500 bulls pulling the bow, and 5,000 men pushing them. Looking at all this, Lord Ram and Lakshman were bewildered. 5,000 soldiers to go and get a bow, and 5,000 men pushing the bow, and 500 bulls to bring it to the assembly of Maharaj Janak. So the bow was said it was made of elephant skin in one section and tiger skin in another section. Okay. So Maharaj Janak says they worship the bow every day in the kingdom of Mithila. Because when you don't know how to use it, so you worship it. Like that's exactly what happens. So when somebody gives a Bhagavad Gita, you take it home and you don't know how to read it or you don't want to read it. What do? Put it in the altar, or you put it next to the shelf in the altar, and then every day you start worshiping. So the same thing was happening here. So Maharaj Janak, the kingdom was worshipping the bow because nobody knew how to use it. Right? So Maharaj Janak said, like, to marry Sita, so he want anybody who lifts the bow, and he is ready to give the hands of Mother Sita to the person who lifts the bow. So Janak was doubtful in his mind, because that was not the first time the bow sacrifices happened. Many times in the past, the bow sacrifice happened, but nobody could be successful in lifting the bow. So, on one hand, there is a lot of doubting in the mind of Maharaj Janak, and he was also confused whether did he take the right decision, because some of the people in the kingdom, or some of the kings who came to in the past to lift the bow, when they were leaving, they said, like, Maharaj Janak is a fool, because nobody can lift this bow. It's highly impractical. It's not practical to lift it. So he doesn't want his daughter to get married. So maybe that's what is in his mind. So all these things were going on, but for some reason he had hope that Lord Ram will accomplish this mission. So, but the reason why Maharaj Janak had faith that there will be someone definitely who can lift the bow is when Mother Sita was, maybe about 6 years old, and he was playing with, her friends in a ball, and the ball went and got stuck underneath the bow. And Mother Sita, at that young age, so she just went and she lifted the bow and took the ball. So the servants in the courtyard of Sita, so they saw this and they went and told this to Maharaj Janak. And at that time, Maharaj Janak decided he will get his daughter married to a person who is equal or higher caliber or capability. So then he decided whoever lifts the bow at least once, he is the right person for her daughter. So there is a reason, right? So other than hoping, Maharaj Janak was praying, and so Ram came, and then so he went and took the blessings of Vishwamitra Muni, and then Vishwamitra Muni blessed him, and every time whatever he do, he takes the blessings of his spiritual master. So then he went and he lifted the bow and he placed it on the one end on the floor, and then he started to bring the string, and when he was doing it, the bow broke into pieces. So then Maharaj Janak was convinced, yes, he is the one who is going to be the son-in-law of Maharaj Janak, and he will be the husband of Mother Sita. So, so the point to be taken here is most of the time we love and trust. So the love and trust often also creates some bitterness in life, and time also adds some bitterness in life. So even though Maharaj Janak was praying and he was confident, but he had some doubt in his mind if Ram can do this. So he doubted the caliber or capacity of Ram for a second by saying if he lifts the bow. So another example is Dhruva Maharaj. So we all know Dhruva Maharaj. He went to the forest. So he talked to his mother Suniti. And actually the word Suniti means one who gives good advice. So Suniti said, I'm helpless. The only person who can help is the Lord. And because he has a heart of millions of mothers put together, I'm I'm just only one heart and one mother. But you go to the Lord and He will help you. Right. So, so the thing is, we need sweetness to get closer to Krishna and the Lord. So, even though Janak had that bitter, thoughts in his mind, Ram was able to add sweetness. So, so most of the time when we are confident, when we express more confidence, and arrogance also comes along with it. Right? That's the general tendency. But in between confidence and arrogance, you should put respect. So respect is what in between confidence and arrogance, then it will balance it. Okay? So the thing is, by looking at the pastimes of Ramayana, we need to understand how to lead in this world as an ideal person. By reading Mahabharata, we need to understand how to live in this world, how Pandavas have lived. And by reading Bhagavad Gita, we need to learn how to leave this world. That is how these great scriptures are teaching us. So, after the vow was broken, then Maharaj Janak went to Lord Ram and he said, now Sita is yours. And he was so proud, he embarrassed him. And then he said to his ministers to get Sita, Mother Sita into the palace. And then Mother Sita, the moment she heard, she knew that there was, the vow was broken, but at the same time she was still in the thought when she saw Ram the previous day from the balcony of her palace. Right? Then when she heard that the vow was broken, then immediately she thought, it should be the same person that I saw yesterday. And she was praying that it has to be the same person she saw yesterday. So then Mother Sita came to the palace, and then so there was everybody was embarrassing each other. But Lord Ram says, he's okay for the marriage, but he wants to seek permission of Maharaj Dasharatha, his father. So then again, Maharaj Janak, what is going on? Now everything is done. I thought the marriage and everything will be done, but now he wants his permission of his dad. What if Maharaj Dasharatha say that no, he doesn't agree to this marriage? He was so confused. So then, so he went to Vishwamitra Muni. He said, I'm in a big dilemma now. I had a promise that whoever makes a vow, and Mother Sita will be given to them. But now Lord Ram is saying that he needs permission from Maharaj Dasharatha, his dad. And Vishwamitra Muni says, don't worry. So, try to convince Maharaj Dasharatha. And then a group of people, they went to the kingdom of Dasharatha, Ayodhya, and then they told the complete story about Lord Ram breaking the vow. And so then with other great discussions, just to speed up, so we are almost on time. With other great discussions, Maharaj Dasharatha agreed to the marriage, and he started, making big processions towards from Ayodhya to Maithila. It was said the first person who reached Maithila from Ayodhya, the procession was thus long. The first person who reached and the last person was still in Ayodhya. So that is, you see the whole kingdom, the citizens of Ayodhya packed everything and they started going to see the procession of Mother Sita and Lord Ram's marriage. So they came in and everybody embarrassed each other. And then Vasishtha Muni and Vishwamitra Muni, they both were talking on the other side. Even though they don't get along because there is two different personalities, but everybody was looking at them and feeling something different because they both are So when that happened, and then they both came back to the assembly and said, this is what we discussed. Our thought is to have all the four brothers married at the same time. So now Lord Ram will be married to Mother Sita, and Lakshman will be married to Urmila, who is the sister of Mother Sita. And then Bharat and Shatrughna will be married to the daughters of Maharaj Janak's brother, who's that Mother Sita's cousins. So Mandavi and Shrutakirti. Shatrughna is married to Shrutakirti, and Bharat marries to Mandavi. So and then the marriage takes place. So one thing, the last thing to understand so when Vasishtha Muni and Vishwamitra Muni were talking, like, so what was in between them? Like when you have two bricks, what is in between? It's a cement, right? So between those two, when Ram was in between them as a cement, and that is when you can really get closer and closer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is why if you see, like deities, we worship them years and years together, and every day you see the effulgence that you can see from deities. If you truly, with pure heart, look at the deities, and they keep looking more and more beautiful as you start worshipping them with pure love and devotion. Right? So the last part, when the time came to exchange the garlands, and so Lord Ram exchanged the garland to Sita, and then but Sita could not put the garland to Lord Ram. So then what happened is, so Lakshman, who was watching this, then he said he has to figure out something, because like Lord Ram was a little taller and Sita could not reach out to put the garland on Lord Ram. So then Mother Sita, Lakshman, then he immediately paid his obeisances to touch Lord Ram's feet. And then Lord Ram bent to pick Lakshman, and then Mother Sita put the garland on Lord Ram. So that's how the marriage went through, and those are the pastimes of the marriage of Mother Sita and Lord Ram. So with that, having said that, we are right on time, and any things for discussions or any thoughts that you would like to share?
Yeah,
Hari.
thank you so much for the nice class, first of all. It was very nice to hear the pastimes of Lord Ram. So you brought up this point of compassion, and we have to have compassion for everybody, but compassion can be also taken in a negative sense, like Arjuna. One of his five arguments to not fight was not compassion. So that goes from chapter 1, text 28 to text 30. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, my skin is burning. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself, my mind is reeling. I only see causes of misfortune. Keshi demon. So you can see that in 128 to 130, compassion is one of the arguments that Arjuna is putting out, and then Krishna is refuting it in 211 through 230. He's saying compassion that's not actual compassion. So sometimes we take these good qualities and then we want to make them material, like how I want to have compassion for him, but real compassion is on the spiritual platform, on doing what Krishna likes, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's that was Trinadapi Sunichana, Taro Rivaseshna Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Dasari. You be humble, so you get Kirtaniya Sadahari. You don't be humble just for humility's sake, you know. That's not the point. Also, I was also thinking compassion. I was thinking when the bull in Srimad Bhagvatam, when Parikshit saves the bull, one of the terms of compassion is that one of the compassion is no meat eating. Prabhupada has the 4 regular principles. These were the 4 legs of the Dharma, the bull.
Yeah.
So no meat eating, no illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. If you engage in those 4 things, then it becomes then you're actually violating dharma, and then you don't have any compassion. So one of the compassion is meat eating. So if you are eating meat, you have no compassion for the animal because he's also jiva, and you're cutting it off. So compassion is, I was just thinking that compassion is good when it's used properly. Like if it's not used properly, if anything is used properly, it's kind of like a knife. Compassion, humility, power, renunciation, all these different qualities that you can have. If they're kind of like a knife, they can do a lot of good, but they can do a lot of bad also.
Exactly. So like two sides of a coin. So
Yeah.
both sides have its version.
Yeah, you have to take it according to Guru Shastra.
Yeah.
So thank you for the nice
Thank you
class.
for
Yeah.
Primarily the context is important,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but sometimes over context. I'm always mentioning my father. He's always saying, put it in context. But sometimes over contextualization also happens. When you try to speculate on, like sometimes we'll say, like, oh, put Prabhupada 16 rounds into context. Prabhupada just wanted you to chant the holy name. So let's do one round and you can be initiated. So we have to take things in context. But we shouldn't take it so so into context that it takes out of context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, in the morning prayers we were also discussing about Narottam Das Thakur telling us about how we downtail everything, right?
Yeah.
So there are two things based on my realization. So we all have, we come with an attitude where we want to serve, right? But that serving should be downtailed to Krishna, the Supreme Personality. And at the same time, during the process of the service, so sometimes we neglect and create aparad, Vaishnava aparad. That is very, 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 it's not good. So we try to do the service, and we also have to please the Vaishnavas who are in the association when you are doing the service. So that is very important. Because if the devotees are not pleased, then obviously Krishna is not looking for service, because he has millions and millions of,
Lakshmi is serving him,
Lakshmis
denizens,
serving him. But he is only pleased when the Vaishnavas are pleased. So that is why if you see even Lord Chaitanya, when he heard that the Jagai and Madai have hit the forehead of Nityananda Prabhu, so then he immediately ran, because it's a Vaishnava aparad. Right? But on the other side, Nityananda Prabhu saying, no, Jagai was very, he was very, because Nityananda Prabhu was showing compassion on the other side. So you can see this is where we learn how to be more compassionate and humility. And again, humility does not mean being like a doormat and accepting everything, because Krishna has given us all these things. We are not only looking at it from a material perspective, but also our intelligence. So Krishna's intelligence is also part of Krishna. Right? So we have to use our intelligence and make the decision what is right, what is wrong in a particular situation. That is very important. And the biggest takeaway from here is, like, when you have two issues and when Lord Ram comes in the center, just like how two bricks and there is a cement. Right? So when the Lord comes in the center and it all creates, right? So look at how Vasishtha Muni and Vishwamitra Muni, and they talked with each other and they came back with a good decision. So that is the result and outcome when you have such type of compassion.
Thank you.
Ramesh Prabhu, anything more to add? Thank you, Hare Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. If I have committed any aparad or anything that I did not say it right, please excuse me. So thanks again. So all glories to Lord Ramchandra and Mother Sita.
Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Granth Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai. Chandra Prabhu ki jai.
Chandra.